Some students in Palm Beach County aren't just learning, they are training for real careers. They're gaining hands-on experience and industry certifications before graduation. We go on the record with school leaders helping to shape this game-changing approach to education.
You're watching On the Record on WPBF 25.
Good morning. We are diving into a story about education that goes beyond the traditional classroom. South Tech Schools, home to a high school and middle school in Boynton Beach, are transforming the way students approach their future. And we are joined today by Executive Director Carla Lovett and Principal Josh Wigglesworth, both key players in shaping this unique educational experience. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Carla, let's start with you. Give us an overview of South Tech's high school and middle school and the programs.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having us here. South Tech Schools is a public charter school, tuition-free school network with a middle school and a high school. We serve students from all over Palm Beach County. Even though we're located in Boynton Beach, because we have our own fleet of buses, we're able to transport students from all across the county to our campus. But what makes us really special and different from other schools in the area is that we have a 100% focus on career and technical education. So all of our students in both middle school and high school, in addition to working on their academics, are also in one of our 12 career academies. And our 12 career academies focus on high skill, high demand, high wage industries that our students are able to prepare for. And through their programs, they're able to earn adult level industry certifications, even in middle school and high school.
That is incredible. What an opportunity for the students.
Yes.
And from a societal perspective, career and technical education, especially right now, is so important.
Yes, absolutely. Career and technical education has always been important, but you're right. Lately, it really is becoming a major focus. I think that right after the pandemic, people began to really realize that the shortages that we have in skilled, high technological based careers and programs and people to fill those jobs. And that's not going away. It's only becoming more dramatic, especially as you look at the changes that we're facing right now economically, how society is changing with AI and the changes that we don't even realize what the next 10 to 20 years are going to bring in the fields of work for young people. And so it's very important for students to have, young people to have options these days. Lately, it's been a topic even in the national media about how young people are beginning to think twice about college because they're leaving college with such high debt with student loans, and depending on the degree that they're pursuing, they may have trouble finding a job now when they get out with that debt and that degree. And even if they do find a job, in many cases, they may not be able to make the wages that they need to have a quality life. Whereas many of the career and technical fields are in high demand and are paying very well, in many cases better than a college degree.
Yeah, and so Josh, let's talk about a little bit more about how the kids get to this point. How do the academies work?
Our students spend 90 minutes daily for 4 years in their chosen career pathway, whether it be business, IT, culinary, medical, etc. I'm going to leave some people out. Hopefully they don't get upset. And they're going to earn free industry certifications, gain hands-on experience and real-world knowledge while they're with us. So essentially picture each career academy as a small learning community that prepares our students for college and the workforce.
And so you talked about industry certifications. Why is having an industry certification so important when they are going to go into the workforce?
Great question. It's important because A, it gives our students a sense of accomplishment, right? They're earning something that's an adult level credential, but B, it gives our students the competitive edge the moment they leave us. These certifications value real-world skills and are recognized by employers, colleges, and trade schools.
So it really gives them a head start when they're heading into their career.
Absolutely. It's going to help them build confidence. It's going to increase their earning potential. It's going to save time and money because they're earning the certifications while they're with us for free, and then they're going to stand out to employers.
All right, let's do some bragging here. You
Let's do
guys
it.
just received another A rating. Okay, what was the key to that?
We're very proud to be an A-rated high school. The key is hard work and a strong commitment from our entire school community, our students, our teachers, our staff, and our families. I think it also reflects culture of excellence here at South Tech and shows that when we as an entire school community can buy in, our students can achieve at the highest levels, and we're very proud of that.
Okay, so there's 12 academies. How do you choose them, and do you think you're going to be able to add more in the future? Because I understand there is a wait list right now
Correct.
for South Tech. People want to get into your school.
Yes.
Yes.
So what's the plan there?
So we are very strategic when determining what academies are coming down the pipeline, but we're always open to expanding, especially if it makes sense and if it's good for our students. First thing we do is we look locally, specifically through the Business Development Board of Palm Beach County, and what we're doing is trying to identify industries that are in need of highly skilled workers both now and in the future. And from there, we're going to take that same approach across the state. The hard part is exposure. Then we have to find a way to expose our students to these high demand, high wage, high skilled industries. And not only that, as a school, we have to stay proactive. We have to make sure we're able to constantly pivot with industry and workforce demands to set up our students for success.
And Carla, quickly, do you think you're becoming a model for other schools throughout the state?
I hope so, because I think that focus on career and technical education is really more important now than ever. It's important for our students to have options as they leave high school and go into the adult world, because there are so many unknowns.
All right. Carla, Josh, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Next, we take a look at their newest academy, Agritech, what it is and how it's helping students grow their future.
You're watching On the Record on WPBF 25.
Joining me now are Megan Shamdasani, the CTE coordinator at South Tech Academy, and Pamela Galarza, principal of South Tech Preparatory Academy, which is the middle school. Thank you both for being here. Megan, let's start with you and talk a little bit about your role at South Tech Academy.
Absolutely. It is the funnest job in the world. There's definitely some more mundane tasks like ordering exams, which are important, but I have the privilege to work with the best students in the county, the best teachers. I just help them make sure they have everything they need to be successful. I work with all 12 career programs. I help with community outreach, looking for business partnerships, and I really just help make sure that our school is prepared to train your future employees. So.
Well, you know, one of the things that you all have there within these academies is state-of-the-art equipment, whether it's with the automotive bays, the cosmetology salon. Tell me a little bit about how you are able to have this and why that is so critical for these kids to have this hands-on experience.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't train students for their future careers if they aren't using the tools of their trade. So that's why our community partners, our business partnerships are so important. For example, in our automotive program, we have a partnership with Ed Morse. They come in, they provide work uniforms for the older students. The students have possibilities of doing job shadowing and internships there. We have a partnership with Hunter Engineering, so we have state-of-the-art automotive equipment in our auto bays, and they even use it as a training facility for professionals in the industry. And we try to apply that same quality. The cosmetology lab is open for clients to come in 2 days a week. They can come in and get their hair done in our
great.
salon lab. So,
Yeah, they're getting all
absolutely.
the experience that they're going to need and have the most updated tools that once they do go into the workforce, everyone else is using. Pamela, it's middle school and these kids are getting certified. How are you all able to do that? Talk a little bit about the program there at South Tech Prep.
They are able to get certified. We take pride in that's one of our biggest things, and we work closely with the high school to align all of our what we do at the middle school, helping prepare our students going into high school. And it's important because it's not uncommon for adults to change careers. This is just early exposure, as early as it can get, right? So the students are validated if they do well, or whether they want to change a career as well. They get a real feel for what that would be like in the future and work from there.
That's what I was going to ask you, because when you're going into 6th or 7th grade, you might not, you might think, oh, I want to do this, but now I've switched. So how do you approach that for the students? Do they get to kind of get a taste of everything when they're in that middle school, when they're in those middle school years?
They would, yes. A middle school, that would be the perfect time, just so that solidifies their path going into high school. And they come out of middle school with a better idea of where they want to be.
So once they then head into high school, they're like, all right, I know exactly. They can be focused, driven to get those certifications. Megan, let's talk a little bit about the newest academy, which is Agritech. I know you were instrumental in getting that adopted. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so our newest academy opened just this fall. It's agricultural technology. We recently just received a generous grant from the Carl Angus DeSantis Foundation. And our plan is to really make this a model of high-tech agricultural education. So the agriculture industry is already extremely based in highly technical, advancements, but we want to make sure that our students are learning the skills they need to have those higher wage jobs. So we're going to emphasize things like the use of drones in agriculture, the use of precision agriculture with use in fertilizer management and nutrient management. We are working with automation and coding, and it's just incredible. Agriculture is a $2 billion economic industry here in Palm Beach County, and we want to make sure our kids are ready to work there.
Yeah, something I read, it's the students created a floating wetland project to mimic the Everglades as part of their studying. That is amazing.
It is, yeah, it is really cool. We love giving tours out there, and it's another example of why partnerships are so important. We worked with the National Wildlife Refuge Foundation. We worked with Friends of Loxahatchee and the University of South Carolina to build the only floating wetland at a school in the state of Florida.
Yeah, those partnerships are even more critical for a school like where you are, because you need those businesses to be able to allow, whether it's a job shadowing, whether they come in and kind of teach them those hands-on, lessons.
Exactly. We need to make sure that we are using the highest industry standards to prepare the workforce for Florida, for Palm Beach County, and we can't do that alone. So we definitely rely on our partners.
And Pamela, what's next for South Tech Prep?
So what's next? We also were just awarded high-performing charter school status. So keeping that up is super important, and just continuing to align what we do with what the trends are out there and our high school.
That's fantastic. Okay, and what if a student's watching, a parent's watching, they're like, this is the perfect place for my child. How can they learn more? And how do they apply?
That's the easiest question you've asked today. So you go right to our website. We've got information about both the middle school and the high school on the website. The application for both schools is right on the website as well. And there's our contact information, and Pamela and I are both always happy to give a tour to a future student or to a community partner that wants to learn more.
And there is a wait list right now, is that my understanding?
That is correct,
Do
yes.
kids usually get off the wait list, does it feel, or?
We were able to get some kids in this fall,
Okay.
and sometimes, mid-year, about January, we can get a couple more kids
Okay,
in. So.
that's good to know. All right, Pamela, Megan, thank you so much for joining us. Next, behind the scenes look at South Tech's award-winning Commercial Arts Academy. You'll also meet one of the teachers and a talented student who's already building an impressive portfolio. And we are meeting another key player at South Tech Academy and one of the students, Chris White, graphic design and commercial arts teacher, and his student, Joelle Bickaroo. Thank you both for being with us this morning. Let's talk about, Chris, first of all, the Commercial Arts Academy at South Tech. Tell me a little bit about what the students learn.
Definitely. So I try to cover a little bit of everything. I try to get some money in their pocket, the
Yeah.
business, the creative, try to get that all in an umbrella as much as possible that I can do in these 4 years that I have, which seems to go by really fast. So we'll learn Photoshop, Illustrator, all the Adobe programs, InDesign, Animate, as well as Toon Boom. We'll also learn, the digital drawing software, the Procreate. I also let them have a little bit of freedom with some of the programs. If they have a little bit of knowledge that would apply to the assignments that we have, they can use whatever program they feel for certain assignments. But for the first year, mainly, I'm teaching the basics, the fine art, the sketching, the acrylic painting, the Photoshop, as well as getting them certified in Adobe Photoshop, as well as the whole Adobe suite. And now we're adding the Toon Boom animation software to that.
And Photoshop is hard. I mean, there's so many layers to Photoshop, right? So they get an industry certifications for a lot of those different programs?
Yes, most of them, actually all of them. Photoshop, it's hard, it's subjective, but
Well, that's good. It's probably easy to you and other people.
Yeah, but it's their freshman year and they're attacking it.
Yeah.
And some of them go on to further education, college, and they find that, wow, I'm ahead of the class, and where they felt like they were struggling to be on par with the
Right.
class, over here at South Tech, but they're ahead when they go to even the most popular and world-renowned design colleges. So,
Well, what are their favorite things to learn, would you say? Like as a teacher, you sit back, watch, and what do they tend to gravitate towards, most of your students?
any of the assignments that I give them a lot of freedom with, like say for instance, they're always excited to get into the animation. It is tedious, it is a little complicated. You have to pay attention to what you're doing, but they love the animation, they love the game design, as well as they love the illustration. Like a lot of times we'll go into the Adobe Illustrator, whether it's illustrating a logo or a portrait or just designing their own cartoon characters. They like that a lot as well. They like the acrylic painting as well too, also.
But when you hit on something too about designing a logo, I mean, there's so many different, whether it's in the creative world or
Right.
in a marketing business side of things, because they could be the person at a company who is designing all of the
Exactly.
logos and doing the brands and things like that.
Exactly. Everywhere you look is design. You know, everyone needs a logo. If you have a business, you need a logo. You know, I tell them a lot of times, if you're just riding the car with your mom, or if you're driving yourself, just look around. Like all of the signs, somebody had to design that. You know, somebody had to come up with that, and
Yeah.
they're making a lot of money doing that.
That's
like
right.
I like to use the example of H&R Block. You know, just that little green
Yes.
square. Somebody was paid over $1 million just to make a
Wow.
green square.
Wow, wow. All right, well, Joel, we know you want to make one of those green squares, but why did you choose the Commercial Arts Academy? What brought you to South Tech?
Well, first of all, I love art. It's something that has been just a part of my life forever. And I love creating things. Creation is like my passion. I want it to be a part of my entire life. And I wanted to be able to do it myself. So that's why I chose graphic design. It was the perfect choice.
So tell me a little bit about what you love to do most in class.
That's a tough choice because we do a lot, as you said. But one thing that I've loved most was the animation, being able to create a character and make it come to life. It was exciting. I really love doing it.
Okay, so is that the coolest thing that you've created, is like coming up with a character, making some animation from it? What was your character's name?
It was
Or there's probably a few that you have, right?
Yeah.
It was mine was named after a rapper, Duckworth, which was Kendrick Lamar's last name.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why I named mine off
Cool.
of. But it was an actual duck. So that's what I created.
Cute.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so you're a senior this year, so you're getting ready to leave. What are your plans for the future, and how has South Tech prepared you for this moment?
I plan on going to Full Sail University, and I'm really excited for it. Already gotten talked to people there, you know, and the certifications are certainly a good help. I've already gotten 2, Photoshop and Illustrator, so that really sets me
Amazing.
up.
Yeah,
so.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Chris, I know that you guys do a lot of competitions,
Yes, we do.
win a lot of competitions. Talk
Yes.
to me about those.
Well, the stakes are pretty high right now. We've won every competition that we've entered, and not just place. We've won first place in every competition that we've entered for at least the past 3 years. Whether that be the Palm Beach County School Bus Drug Awareness Poster Contest, the Skills USA, which is also regional and national. Whether it's the ad design contest, we did the branding design contest. We won that as well for Skills USA. We won the Old School Square in Delray contest, the 6x6
Wow.
painting contest, the Boynton Beach Sister Cities contest, which we've also, in the past, I believe one of my students had their artwork posted in the White House from that contest,
Wow,
the
that's
Sister
cool.
City.
I'm sure you have a lot of students who come back
Yeah.
and say to you, teach, thank you.
Yeah, they do. They come back a lot. Sometimes I have to tell them to tone it down. I actually have to teach my new students,
Yes.
but they love to come back to visit, which is a cool thing. It's great. It's very rewarding as a teacher to see that these kids, because we build kind of a culture in that classroom, and a lot of them, no matter how far they go, they always say how much they miss the culture that we had in that classroom. But they make me proud all the time.
Well, I'm sure they do. And Joel, I'm sure you're going to miss your teacher next year, but he sounds like he set you up to just do wonderful things. The best of luck to you. Congratulations on your graduation in May. And thank you both for being here. We really, really enjoyed having you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
All right.
Thank you for making us a part of your morning. Have a wonderful Sunday. We'll see you again next week.